Welcome back to the channel, everyone. It is Late Night with the Gringo. This is episode 37. And yes, today we are cameraless. Why? Because, if you joined us in our last live stream, you know that we have moved into our new house and still haven't gotten everything settled, including internet. And so it's a little wonky. It's been a little wonky. We got Starlink, and it's not hasn't been the greatest for streaming, and we're going to get the fiber optic hooked up, and hopefully that's going to be a little bit more stable. That'll happen in a couple of days. So we're going to go cameraless and see if that actually helps out with the audio and a little bit of the less choppiness as we move things around. But don't worry, you'll see our beautiful faces once again real soon. And of course, I'm joined here with my partner, my son. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm really good. It was a long day yesterday. Great day yesterday. Had fun yesterday. So we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about the Super Bowl.
As a Patriots fan, couldn't be more happy.
Yeah. Yep. I know. It is what it is. And we're going to start off talking about the Super Bowl. We're going to talk about we got some political things to address that have going on in the world, and we're going to talk about the movie trailers and some of the ads that we saw yesterday, and just in general, what's just been going on. It is a lot going on, and it was history making yesterday for a few reasons. And number one, the Eagles won, and yeah, we're Patriots fans, and the Eagles aren't exactly our favorite, but definitely the Chiefs are definitely not.
I respect the Eagles. They beat us once.
I respect the Eagles. I respect Philadelphia. I love that city, to be honest with you. I know it gets a bad rap, and it's this and that.
And we make fun of them too as much as we can.
Sure, and I've been there a couple times, but it's, you know what, man, the city of brotherly love, cradle of liberty. Philadelphia and Boston, they're just linked together in U.S. history, and you got to have that love for each other. And
we took one Super Bowl from them. They took one from us. It's fair.
Couldn't be happier for Jalen Hurts, who I think got a lot of negative criticism over the whole season, and
even just the past few years.
Yeah, and good for him, man. Good for him.
Happy for Saquon.
Yep, Saquon
took the money, left New York, won a Super Bowl.
Yeah. I know they named him MVP, Jalen Hurts. For me, it was that defense. That defense is so. I think they were underrated. I mean, even with the Vegas odds, it's just.
Oh, they crushed them.
Yeah, and so it was amazing to see that defense do what they did. And I don't want to hear about Patrick Mahomes being the GOAT ever again. He's not the GOAT. Tom Brady's the GOAT. I think you made the point today of, they talk about the GOAT. It's the whole thing with the GOAT and Mahomes, and you made the whole thing. But we forgetting about Joe Montana. Mahomes hasn't even reached Joe Montana status.
He's matched him in Super Bowl MVPs, but he's not beaten him in total wins.
Yeah,
he's undefeated. He's 4-0, 127 QBR, I believe it is in Super Bowls.
Yeah,
I mean, in terms of Super Bowl performances, outside of maybe Brady, or maybe even better than Brady, one of, if not the best to ever do it. I mean, not one interception ever in the big stage. Couple game-winning drives. I know they faced, Cincinnati's not exactly the most terrifying opponent, but he's still got 4. He's got no losses. If you want to have a conversation about the GOAT, Mahomes has to get at least 5, maybe 6, for me to start considering this again, because his 2 losses are too big. I mean, yesterday's game, it wasn't even close. It was really like 40-6 because they pulled the starters. I've never seen that before. I've never seen a Super Bowl. It's such a bad. The game's over. You pulled your starters in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
that's the head coach's dream. That's embarrassing. You can't say you're a GOAT.
Some people some commentators today were like, they knew as soon as he threw that pick 6 and all that, and it was like 10-0, and so they thought it was over at that point. Which, you and I saw the 28-3 comeback with Brady, so nothing's ever over until it's really over. And it was really over in the third quarter for me. I think it was really over, and I was like, wow. I mean, I've seen some. Was it the biggest wipeout Super Bowl? It's one of them. It's not the greatest. Like, I remember the 85 Bears absolutely demolishing the Patriots. I mean, that was just ridiculous. Refrigerator Perry running for a touchdown and everything. So
hold on, Gringo. But I know you say that, but the difference was that's the 85 Bears. Everyone's thought going into the Super Bowl they were going to destroy them.
Yeah.
That was expected. This is the three-peat Kansas City Chiefs dynasty. Oh, they've had the refs to help them, which is true. I think they got a lot of really, really generous, we'll say, ref calls. Didn't get there.
possibly.
I listen. That Buffalo first down was a first down. That was not what was the third down, fourth down, whatever it was. They got that. I digress.
Yeah.
They went in there as a 2-time defending champions, and they got blown out. I mean, even the commentators at one point, where the game was truly over, was when the commentators said, "All right, it was the third quarter. They said, let's see if we can get some." It was the third or fourth quarter. It's like, let's see if Mahomes got some magic. Let's see some Mahomes magic. And he didn't even get a pass off. It was a strip sack.
He got assassinated.
He got killed.
I mean, it was just amazing.
I loved it, but it was just.
And yeah, no, I don't want to take anything away. It was a dominating win. It was one of the most dominating wins I'll ever remember in Super Bowl history. Yeah. I've seen. I probably started watching football when I was 4 or 5 years old. Not that I remember every Super Bowl, but I mean, you remember the ones. It's like I remember. Like I said, I remember the '85, of course. I remember watching a couple of times the 49ers absolutely demolish people like the Cincinnati Bengals or things like that. And it was
Chargers.
Chargers. Yeah, I remember. Was it Seattle versus Denver?
Yes, yeah, that was. I mean, actually, Peyton still holds that lowest QBR in a Super Bowl. Yeah, since it was recorded that stat. Guess who's second now? Patrick Mahomes. And honestly, he probably actually had worse until he padded his stats with that, was it a 50-yard bomb? Yeah. If he doesn't throw that, he has the worst. Yeah.
But you can't take it. I'm not going to sit here and badmouth Patrick Mahomes. He's still a great quarterback. He still has 3 Super Bowls.
Yeah, 3 Super Bowls.
He's under 30 years old. He's he signed $500 million in a contract for playing football. Now, he's not the GOAT, though.
That conversation is not opening up until he gets to 5, maybe 6 rings.
Yeah. Again. And see what happens, how he reacts after such a devastating and the thing is, you and I were talking about this earlier today, and, some other people were telling us, like, hey, you know what, the O-line let him down. This person let him down. That part of it was a total failure on the whole Chiefs. I mean, the defense played decently in the beginning.
That defense, what do you think was going to happen? They got dragged out. The offense went 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, interception, 3 and out. That defense was going to be exhausted by the first half. It was over.
But when you have that GOAT conversation, I mean, it's you can't for me, you can't be in that conversation, GOAT, and accept all that high praise, you accept that you're the face of the league and you're this and you're that. If you're gonna accept all the high praise, you gotta be able to basically sit up there and say, "Hey, man, I effed this up. I screwed this up. This is on me."
I mean, he gave 14 points up. He gave 1 pick six, and the other one was at the 10-yard line, essentially. Yeah. You gave 14 points up. You put yourself in the hole already.
In his post-game press conference, I mean, he did take a lot of accountability for
which is good. I give him that.
Yeah, and so, but again, what's weird is we so focused on the collapse of the Chiefs instead of the dominance of the Philadelphia Eagles, and I think that's where again the Eagles maybe that's what they take into this next off season and into the next season, because if this is the team that comes back and they all re-sign and everything like that, I mean,
they're actually, I think, under lengthy contracts. I'm pretty sure.
So I mean, they come back and say, "Hey, this wasn't a fluke. This was a hard fought, great."
They've got the talent.
Yeah. So
they've got the defense. They got the O line. They got the best O line in the league. I mean, the largest O line? Yeah. On average, their average is 6'6" and 346 pounds.
300. I don't think it was 333 or something like that. It's something ridiculous. Yeah. But it's just those are some big boys, and I think, like I said,
Also, okay, sorry, I know we talked about the O-line. They have Joe Tooney. He's got 5 Super Bowl rings. Yeah. Former Patriots O-lineman, yeah. Right? I mean, he knows a thing or two about dynasties. He's been in them.
But he got pushed around.
I mean, that whole O-line got pushed around because that defense is so good. Yeah. Even as Mahomes, you got to tell, I know Reed's calling the shots on the offense, but you only ran the ball 3 times.
Sure.
You got to be smart enough to be like, all right, run it here. All right, maybe not drop back pass. You're known for running out the pocket. Maybe get out the pocket.
Yeah.
He did nothing. He couldn't get anything going. Yeah. Sorry, you threw 2 picks. You have the second worst QBR. Brady never came close to that.
No. Even when he did throw a pick 6 in the game against Atlanta, I mean, like I said, he came back.
He won. That's the difference.
So
Listen,
great Super Bowl.
Brady was
and,
down 28-3.
Yeah.
He was down 20. Was it 24-0 by the halftime?
Yeah.
The difference is he came back and won.
Yeah.
The other one did.
Yeah. The other fun part is history making is the president was there in attendance in the Super Bowl, which was great. First time ever a president was in attendance.
Kind of surprising.
He got cheered. He was so loved there, accepted when they showed him during the national anthem, and they booed Taylor Swift, which
made me happy.
I mean,
made me pretty happy. I'm not gonna lie. I've had enough of Taylor Swift in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, it's just become such a okay. Listen, this is not why I watch football. Listen, I got nothing against Taylor Swift. I'm sure she's a talented musician. You know the only song of Taylor Swift I know? I don't even know the name of it. I just know it because of the Screaming Goat video.
Oh,
that's it.
I don't know what the
other
name
than that,
of it
I couldn't
is
name you a Taylor Swift song. You could put a gun to my head. I can't name a Taylor Swift song, and so I could care less. I mean, you want to date the guy? That's fine. You want to be married to the guy? That's fine. You want to move into a $12 million mansion in Kansas City? That's fine. I just every time something good happens with the Chiefs, I don't need to see her on screen. I'd rather see the president. It was amazing that they didn't show the president. Well, they showed a bunch of other celebrities, which of course also celebrities at every Super Bowl. But but it was really cool seeing the president. It was really cool seeing him cheered by everybody because there's this battle going on, in the media, trying to make him out to be the villain and the bad guy again. And there's some things that he did we're going to talk about. I'm like, oh man, I don't know if I agree with that. That's kind of but he's trying to do something different. He's not. At least I can say this. I don't agree with. I could probably take 20% of the things that he's done and say, listen, I don't agree with that, or I don't agree with what he said, or I don't agree with what he wants to do.
Like most presidents.
Yeah, but I really appreciate the fact that he's not just trying to do the same old, same old. I think he's looking at situations going, it's been like this for 50 years. Why am I going to do the same thing? Why don't I try something crazy? Because crazy just might work. Maybe the world needs a little bit of crazy in the White House. Sometimes, presidents, they do things you think to yourself, wow, that's just, that's ridiculous, but it gets the job done. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think hopefully that's what we get out of it. And so let's kind of move away from the Super Bowl. I mean, last thoughts on the Super Bowl. I mean, other than that, I thought, I'll say this. If you're a Chiefs fan, definitely was not an entertaining game. It must have been hard. It must have been hard as a Chiefs fan to watch it.
Oh yeah.
But I think as a non-Chiefs fan, it was one of the most entertaining Super Bowls I've seen. I thought it was great. Oh, the halftime show. Kendrick Lamar, again, it's your generation. That's not mine. I didn't know a song the guy played. I didn't think it was that great. I thought it was like, Some people were praising it as this great thing. Something about, you told me the whole thing between him and Drake.
Yeah.
Just some of the stuff allowed during the halftime show now. It's just like, yeah, okay, you know what? To me, that was a forgettable halftime show. If you're going to, I've seen Prince perform in the rain at the halftime show. I've seen Michael Jackson perform at the halftime show. I've seen U2. I've seen Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Bruce Springsteen. You and I, we saw the resurgence of 90s rap with Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg at the halftime show a couple of years ago.
Right.
Lady Gaga, I thought, killed it at the halftime Super Bowl show. One in Houston with the Patriots and the Falcons.
Was that Lady Gaga?
Yeah, it was Lady Gaga. Remember she dove?
Oh, I thought that was Katy. No, the Katy Perry is the one before. That's right.
Yeah, I don't really remember that one.
That's Super Bowl 50. I just remember because of the shark.
I know so there's been some really, really great halftime shows. This one to me was just, I thought like I remember the weekend.
Yeah, the weekend.
I thought that was great. I thought that was cool. I'd never really known his music, and I was like, oh man, this guy can friggin' perform. I didn't get. I was like, am I gonna fall asleep during this one with Kendrick Lamar again? I'm sure he's the voice of rap of your generation. He's just
not your thing.
Not my thing, man. I grew up with the 90s. That's my rap. Late 80s, 90s.
I mean, that's kind of the rap I listen to mostly myself. Yeah. But I do have a couple Kendrick Lamar songs from my friends. Yeah. And I do enjoy them. I think the last two songs that he played, those are the kind of his moment. The other stuff is like, it's not bad. It's just everyone was waiting for that one song.
Oh, okay.
That's why.
Yeah. And then everybody's talking about Drake this, Drake that. I'm like, again, get someone. You get to be my age. Sometimes, like, it's really hard to get into new music. I try. You see me. I try. I really try. So sometimes you guys laugh at me because I'm like,
yeah, you have the weirdest
I
one.
have some of the weirdest.
You have
stuff.
was it Adele's Hello?
Hey, like I like Adele. Okay,
Listen, I like Adele too, but like
I like Adele.
I don't have
Hello,
that song. That's a
it's
terrible
me.
song. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's not a terrible
Terrible.
song. It's not.
It's
not
so
terrible.
mean
It's
to
not.
me.
No, it's good. It's good.
It's so depressing.
You know, and so it's just it's hard getting into new music, and you know, you give it a shot, and it's just like they had this because like, you know, I think for the last like 15 years they had this one thing called mumble rap.
Oh,
To me, and I used to make fun of it when I worked at Apple. People were like, "Oh yeah, I'm like, it sounds like the same guy you put on before, but it's a different guy." And I said, "You know what it sounds like? It sounds like you're ordering at a drive-through at McDonald's. And I like some chicken McNuggets, and I like some fries, and a big back, and hold the pickles, you know, like to me, that's what it sounded like.
No, I don't think. No, I hate that.
I'm used to Eminem screaming at me. I'm used
Hey,
to.
listen, you're saying that.
I'm used to
my
murder
rap.
was the
Listen,
case that you
Eminem.
gave me.
I still had
Alright.
Eminem growing up.
Jesus.
Okay? I don't want to hear it.
I'm used to
I had
NWA
50 Cent.
straight out of Compton. I mean, I'm used to that. There used to be an element of danger. There used to be an element of energy and
No.
danger to.
I mean, you know what
rap
my favorite track is?
and rebelliousness, yeah, and but just I don't get that now, and I guess maybe it's a different world. You know?
It's a different world, but you know me. Again, my favorite track is by the Far Side.
Oh yeah, passing me
by.
by.
That's my favorite.
So great. Like the other day, I was putting on some old rap, and it was like 93 Till Infinity by Souls of Mischief.
Again, stuff I
Tribe
listen to.
Called Quest. I mean, you know,
Maybe not Mischief as much.
You know,
But
I saw I saw the Wu-Tang Clan in concert, and they were paired up with Rage Against the Machine. I thought I was gonna die. I thought that crowd was just friggin' that was a crowd. That was just I didn't think I was making it out of there alive because that place is just hopping. It's like wow, it was just great. But you know, but if you enjoyed the halftime show, I'm glad you enjoyed the halftime show. I got nothing against Kendrick Lamar. I just not my cup of tea. That's all. Just not my cup of tea.
he had his moment. He had his moment in the song.
So, although what is my cup of tea? That $740,000 watch Brady was wearing.
Oh yeah, that is. I could use one of those.
Dude, is it me or does he just look way too skinny? He looks like he's sick.
He's no longer, eating like he's supposed to for football. He's just living his normal life, eating what
But he looks sickly. He looked like you could. It looked like honestly, I could walk up and punch him and he'd friggin' fall down.
I'm not saying that's true, but
Like,
it's possible.
It just didn't look healthy. He just didn't look healthy. Just to me, he didn't look healthy. And
those high cheekbones.
yeah,
little
man,
frail.
not only that, but the sunken cheeks.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you want a sandwich, man? It's
No,
okay.
you want
Have
a
some
hamburger?
carbs. Have a cheeseburger. Have some carbs. Some French
You're
fries.
not
Man,
playing no
literally,
more.
7 Super Bowls. Have some French fries. Go to McDonald's. Go hang out with Donald Trump. Get a Big Mac, man. Just geez.
Go have a good
And
time.
I love you, but it looked like I'm like waiting for you to just waste away and say, hey, listen, this is what it is.
It's like you're battling cancer.
Yeah, it was terrible. Yeah, he looked like he just came out of like treatment.
Award, yeah.
Yeah.
Second round in, still got the hair.
Don't know if he's that great at it. Don't know if he's that. I didn't think his announcing was that great.
I actually enjoyed it this time. This time he improved. He's improved over the season.
He's improved, but he's just.
I like him when he goes into his own. He gets his tangents, which I do like.
You know where he's great is when he forgets to be politically correct or trying to be like everybody's nice guy. Sometimes when you're in that role, you gotta tell it like it is. You gotta say, hey, that was stupid. Or, hey, that sucked. You're Tom Brady. You're allowed to look at a play and go, that was stupid, or that was silly, or that was the wrong call. And he doesn't. I think he's shy to take those moments because he still sees himself as like I'm Tom Brady. And he feels like this. I don't know.
Face of a franchise.
Face of the franchise. Not a face of the franchise, but he's like in his mind, he's got to be walking. He says he doesn't think about it, but you got to think about it. He's walking around like I'm the GOAT. I'm the greatest of all time.
Oh, absolutely.
And so
I don't blame him.
think that weighs on him, but he does. He carries such a humbleness to him to almost to a fault. But neither here nor there. That was Super Bowl 59. It was good. It was fun. By the way, you gonna watch the UFO? I don't know. Do you care about football that much? Are you gonna watch the UFO?
I remember I tried it for a moment because I said it was on like I think this is spring semester. I think a couple years back when they still had it, but then remember they had to cancel it, so it's been kind of gone for a couple years, I believe.
Yeah. Well, they merged with the XFL.
Yeah, they merged. It was what was it? The XFL they had come back.
The XFL came back. The Rock owned it, and then the American AFL, American Football League came. So
yeah,
now it's the UFL.
Now it's the UFL, but I think it was the XFL, but this was before I think the merger because it was like I think it was like right after. Yeah. Was it the pandemic?
I mean, plus it's baseball time for me.
No, yeah, no, I'm it's like spring training starts in a couple weeks.
Yeah, spring training starts with MLB. The Show 25 comes out in a month. You and I are going to be doing some yeah, we are going to be doing a weekly baseball show, if not twice weekly. So we love baseball, so we'll be talking a lot of baseball. So you can join us for that.
Gotta get a fantasy league up and going.
Yeah,
I come in second every league. Actually, this past year, either I ended just barely in second, or I just barely lost second. I was leading the whole year. Yeah. Injuries. August killed me.
Yeah,
killed me.
It will kill you.
So I'm excited.
So, but so I'm not really. I don't know. The UFL just probably gonna just be one of those things where I just don't have the time to watch it.
I think I'll have it on here and there, maybe just to see it.
Oh man, come on! You and I have MLB.
Oh no, I'm
we have
baseball.
the MLB network.
Oh no, I'm baseball first and all day. Yeah. But when there's days like when there's like no games, you know what I mean? Because there's those games where there's weeks where it's like, oh, there's no game today, or there's like 2 games they're early and they're over. Yeah. Put in the UFL.
Yeah. All right. What do you want to do? Movies first, or you want to do entertainment or politics first? Let's stick with entertainment because entertainment. Entertainment. We've got a couple things going.
We'll keep the flow going.
All right, so we
had to get serious. Yeah,
we had a lot of trailers pop yesterday for the Super Bowl, and then the whole thing is now to save money on advertising. They give you a 20 to 30 second like teaser commercial and say the full trailer online now. It's like, okay, well, great, very fantastic. The first one we saw was with Scarlett Johansson, who I think she's a wonderful actress. I'm not excited about a new Jurassic Park movie. I'm just not.
It feels like they're just really just digging more at it.
I mean, give me if you're gonna tell me Megalodon's gonna be in it somehow, I don't know. But then it's like we've had the Meg already.
Not even
that sucked.
Give me Duncan Lost.
Yeah, I just don't know.
I think I mispronounced his name. I'd love that thing.
I'm just out. I'm sort of like tapped out on the whole Jurassic Park thing, and.
Well, I think it's because they've tried it and it worked a little bit, and then just kind of just fell flat. Yeah. It just let it be.
I mean,
unless you want to reboot the whole thing, even then that's kind of sketchy.
Let's talk facts. The Avengers.
Good-looking trailer.
It was a good-looking trailer, but it wasn't like.
It's not like, wow, this is the movie.
Yeah, like I got to see this. I'm like, okay, well, I mean, at that point, you got to like, all right.
It's more like it's nice to see it.
It's like, okay, I'm going there to see. We're going to see it. I mean, because we review movies here on this channel, so we'll see it. But it's like, okay, I know she's great at acting. I enjoy seeing her. I enjoy seeing the great CGI that they have in the dinosaurs. It's like, oh, that's a cool spectacle. But I think you just need a little bit something more. A little something more.
Well, my concern is the cast are obviously creating this like badass female role. I had no problem with.
Yeah.
My concern is Black Widow comes out and chances are like, oh, it's just Black Widow with dinosaurs.
Yeah.
That's my concern. Again, great actress. I think she'll do a good job, but again,
are not coming. Who will keep the American people safe?
There's some big threat out there. And you are going to help me stop it.
Wait, us?
It's Marvel's Suicide Squad, Red Guardian and all that. And Bucky coming back. Bucky's cool. Like we like Bucky. Yelena Belova, which is Black Widow's younger sister.
Hey, they tease Sentry.
Yeah, they tease Sentry, which
I'm kind of excited. I mean, not really, but
I'm excited. But then I'm like thinking to myself, okay, Sentry, one of the most powerful figures in the Marvel universe.
Well, it was just knock off Superman. He's like one of the most powerful, but he's like made weaker than Superman.
Yeah,
because they can't make him the same.
So how are these 4 yokels gonna do this again?
He's against them, right? Or is he with them?
I'm sure they're gonna have to go up against them at some point in time. And what I loved about this trailer is that Taskmaster is gonna die within like 5 minutes of this film. So Taskmaster, which
I didn't watch the Black Widow movie, so I wouldn't know.
They first of all they gender swapped the character, so it's a female.
Who's Taskmaster?
Basically, the superpowers they can mimic any fighting style.
No. I mean, like, who plays Taskmaster?
Some woman. Don't care. Oh no, don't care.
Would I recognize her in another role?
No, she's only been in Black Widow.
Who's the? Is it Florence Pugh? I'm thinking.
Yeah, she's Black Widow's.
I know she's Black Widow.
Yeah, I forgot what they call her. Anyways, so she, but so throughout the whole trailer, you didn't see Taskmaster. in really any of the big scenes. I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, she's obviously going to die soon in the movie.
Century's just gonna rip him apart.
Yeah, I'm
Copy
kind of
this.
Yeah, I like David Harbour. I like David Harbour. From Stranger Things.
Oh yeah,
Different.
yeah. He's likable. He's funny.
likable. I mean, he's a little Trump derangement syndrome every now and again. But
Oh yeah, he's got his moments. But everyone has those moments in Hollywood.
It's Hollywood. That's what it is. So, but I think him and Bucky together. The scenes I've seen with him and Bucky together, I think that looks good. So,
Yeah, you. Why, you got someplace to be?
I love that guy.
This came to my mind. There's this. I don't know if it was a Super Bowl commercial. I didn't see all the commercials, or if it's just a commercial that came out recently. Matthew McConaughey and Woody. Is it what? I always switch up his last name.
Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson. Do you see they had like a commercial they did together? They kind of move the idea of moving with. I think who's the other guy I'm thinking of? I can't remember this other very kind of Republican. He played Reagan.
Dennis Quaid.
He was also in this kind of commercial. It's a commercial for like not Republicans, but more for Texas Congress to kind of promote incentives to move Hollywood to Texas. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Was that yesterday or did that come out earlier?
I think that came out early. I didn't see that yesterday. Maybe you saw it and I didn't.
I saw it yesterday, but I don't know if I saw it during the Super Bowl or just during my day. And you just kind of reminded me of that. It's like, hey, speaking of Hollywood,
Yeah.
got some challenges.
Well, so Thunderbolts.
It's all right. I'm not too excited.
I'm not like, maybe it'll be good. Maybe it won't be.
I think
Again,
they're forcing something that it just doesn't need to be forced.
I just, it's weird. You kind of always had an idea of where like the game plan was going with Marvel. With Phase 1, 2, and 3. Why what characters are being.
That was carefully crafted.
Yeah,
end credit scenes. I mean, they mastered that.
They did, and so with this one, it's sort of like okay, there's rumors that they're going to try to bring Jonathan Majors back for Kang. I'm like, okay, well, go ahead, that's fine.
Well, it's a hard thing to do because you've already pivoted from that.
You have,
clearly.
But you could pivot back.
You just thought this is sloppy.
I mean, there's Doctor Doom's coming and all that. And
that's why you brought Doctor Doom because it's like okay,
which I thought was like okay, that's kind of all right.
Doctor Doom's cool.
He's cool. But being played by Robert Downey Jr. That's
Iron Man.
Like, come on.
Iron Man, but
Just
evil.
Give me Iron Man. So, but we'll see. So Marvel's got a lot of stuff coming out and stuff. So anyways, that was the Thunderbolt. So as far as the trailer goes, decent trailer, decent commercial.
It's all right.
I'm
not excited.
I'm not excited. I'm lukewarm. I'm like, okay, it's a Marvel movie. I'll go see the Marvel movie. How to Train Your Dragon. This is more up your alley.
Yeah,
you were a fan of the cartoon, right? Or
no, it was. Well, actually, there was actually I think a TV show around it too. Yes, there was, and then there was 3 movies.
Yeah,
I believe I remember watching the first movie. This was way back when I was little, Massachusetts. The first time I watched was at grandma's. I enjoyed it. It does not need a live action remake, in my opinion. I think it was fine where it is. I'm a little concerned where it's gonna go. The CGI for the dragons look good. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I thought that looked pretty cool.
They've kept to the characters' costumes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just concerned about how they're gonna have it be played by the actors. It's all, I don't want to like watch and be like it just feels like cringe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
because it's an animated movie. It's good. It's not great.
I mean, the track record for live action remakes of animated films
is not great.
So,
yeah, I'm concerned as you can imagine.
But we'll see. Again,
I'll watch it.
You'll watch it. I'll probably
be the one helping you with the review.
You might actually do the review on that one because that might be one that Mother and I are like, you know what, we need something a little more adult.
Yeah, fair. I might have to.
Speaking of live action remakes,
Lilo.
Sorry, folks. There's a breaking development.
Yeah, there he is running across the field. I got the volume down good because I don't want to be copyrighted. Hold on, make sure. There he is running across the field. And I never saw this movie. You guys did as kids. I was working overnight. He looks like a blue raccoon on crack is what he looks like.
Oh, no, he's wild. I love him. He's one of my favorite Disney characters ever.
Really?
Oh, Stitch, he's great. Stitch is awesome.
Oh, okay.
Stitch is like, you remember how you thought of me when I was little? Nut job.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Can't track this kid. He's bouncing off the walls. That's Stitch.
Okay.
But like times 1,000.
But comes out May 23rd. That wasn't actual footage. That was just a commercial.
Mm-hmm. I hope I have hope. Please, I can't handle if they mess up Stitch. I'll be so sad.
Yeah, a lot of people will be upset, won't they?
Yeah, no, I'm actually excited for this one. I thought that was actually a funny Super Bowl commercial.
It made me chuckle, made me laugh. I'm like,
I
you know what?
it.
Because it reminded me of, okay, so it reminded me of when I was a kid. Did I ever tell you the story of the rat in Fenway Park?
No.
Okay, so every now and again, your grandfather would be cool, and he would bring your uncle and myself to a baseball game. We always sat up in left field, right next to where Jim Rice was, or Mike Greenwell, right?
Okay.
I understand,
It's
right?
good seats.
So we were playing against, I think it was the Brewers, and I believe it was Robin Yount out in center field when he was playing center field. And he's out in center field. He's in a defensive stance, and he's waiting for the pitch to be thrown and maybe get the ball get hit to him. But then all the you start if you saw him, he started kind of like, as we were watching him, the fans behind him were yelling something, and I couldn't make it out because I was just a young kid. I was like 5, 6 years old. But then you saw Robin Yount kind of like he's in defensive mode. He's looking at the field. He's like ready for the ball to be hit to him. Then he's like turning real quick and looking behind him and then turning back and then turning back behind him and turning back to the front. Like he's like there was like a ghost behind him or something. Then I figured out, my father finally told me they're yelling rat. All the people in the center field grandstands are yelling rat, rat, rat. I'm like, are they calling the guy a rat? No. A giant effing rat had come out from underneath the green wall, the green monster, and made his way. I mean, the thing was the size of a frickin' house cat. But that's what rats are in Boston. And was making his way slowly up behind Robin Yount. And of course, he's scared pissless, right?
But he can't move because he's got to be ready for the ball.
But finally, they called time. And finally, they figured out, the umpires figured out, like, something's going on, so they called time. And then you had these 3 yahoos come out with like a fucking shovel and a rake and a bucket to try and chase it. And they just chased the rat around, and they couldn't catch the rat. The rat went right back into the wall. I mean, Fenway Park, you open up one of those walls, you're going to get 100 rats. That's why your grandfather carried a gun.
Really?
Yeah, before your grandfather had his own business as an electrician. He was an electrician for the state of Massachusetts. So he would work late nights, early mornings, basically overnights. But what he did, he had to go into subways and do all the maintenance work on all the electrical for the subways. And he used to carry a gun with him. And people would ask, well, are you afraid that someone down there? He's always afraid you're like a homeless person, crazy person. You're down there in the dark tunnel. Yeah, you want protection. He goes, but that wasn't the real reason. The real reason was for the rats. He'd have to shoot the rats because they weren't afraid of people.
They're big.
They're big, and they come in.
They'll go after you.
Dude, I was standing behind Boston University's bookstore in Kenmore Square, right? And because they were going to deliver my books out the back because I had so many books there. You had giant friggin' box. I had to friggin' huff them up to my dorm. Anyway, so I'm standing there, I'm smoking a cigarette, leaning against the wall. I'm a freshman. Middle of the day, and this dumpster, this garbage dumpster, which was on wheels, because a lot of them were on wheels, so they moved around, moved. The dumpster actually shifted. It's because a friggin' rat the size of a friggin' small dog, and I leaned up on the thing with 2 legs, and it was like almost like trying to push it to see if he can get in. And I'm just like looking at this rat going, oh my freaking God. This thing, if this thing came at me and attacked me, I don't know if I would survive. Dude, I've seen some rats in the city. It gets nasty.
Listen, I'll tell you, the rats in Paris and Rome.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I don't know if you've seen the size of those things.
Oh.
Ridiculous. The biggest one I ever saw was in Rome.
Yeah.
This big looking. It's ginormous.
Yeah.
It looks
they're,
like
they're toxic.
They're toxic, but the thing is, they also swim in the river. So sometimes you'll look and you'll be like, is that an otter or a beaver? They don't live there. It's not. It's a rat.
All right, last rat story I'll give you. So I used to do remodels. I used to remodel Target stores, right?
For the Rat Street Boys,
right? So
the Rat Pack.
So I go to this one store.
Oh God.
And it's before the remodel. We're going through it. And I was in charge of the. Because I used to do the planning for the inside, the outside, get with the construction teams, all that fun stuff. And one of the things you have to do is you have to check the ceiling, you have to check underneath the plates and all that, and the roof and all that stability. And so I'm with one of the main engineers and one of the main construction dudes from the union. And we got flashlights and a ladder. We go up, we pop up the ceiling, and we poke our heads up there. Dude. We shined our flashlight right into the dark in the distance. I didn't know what I was looking at first. It was like it was like being in the middle of a field in the middle of nowhere, looking up and seeing all the bright stars of the universe at once twinkling. That's what it looked
the
like.
eyes.
There must have been 500 rats in the top of this Target store, and they, as soon as we shine the light was bouncing off all their eyes, and it's like lit up. And the construction guy's like, "I am effing out of here." I mean, it was in the Boston area, so of course, you're gonna have rat problems. I mean, I used to work in back rooms, and where we keep the merchandise, you'd see the rats jump from one aisle in the back room to the other in the air just because they're looking for the food. It was crazy. Anyways,
Did you guys ever get like an exterminator?
all the time we had exterminators all the time.
Good job, Boston, huh?
It's Boston. It's not Target. It's Boston. It's just you're overrun.
Did someone open up a business?
Well, hey. All right, the next trailer that I was actually really excited for, because I know the first, this is the Final Reckoning. This is part 2. Part 1 came out a couple of years ago. It didn't do well at the box office.
You should have done better.
It should have. I really enjoyed it. I've always enjoyed the Mission Impossible. I think the only one I didn't like was the second Mission Impossible movie. I was like, eh. The third one was Philip Seymour Hoffman as a villain was terrifying. He was awesome. So I'm really excited to see this one, because I really do enjoy the Mission Impossible. Since this is the last one, I think this is going to be cool. I think he's going to go all out, and who knows what friggin' stunt he's going to pull off. I mean, he's always doing something crazy. He's always doing something nuts. So, I mean, hopefully this is something that...
I hope it's a good send-off.
Yeah.
I think it'll be good. I'm excited.
And I remember Mission Impossible is kind of near and dear to me because of the first one. I remember the summer when CGI blockbusters sort of like changed the landscape. In the same summer, you got Mission Impossible. Well, it was, see here. It was Twisters was the first big blockbuster out of the gate in like May of that summer. I think it was like 93 or 94. I forgot what year it was. But, so you got Twister, the original Twister, and that was great with Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton, and the CGI was like something you've never seen before. Then you get Independence Day, the original Independence Day, and that was just holy cow! That was a touchstone cultural landmark moment.
No, I remember. I watched that so many times growing up.
Yeah, and then the same summer you get Mission Impossible, and it was just such a great summer for movies.
It's just home grand slam after grand slam after
it
grand
was just
slam.
like, damn.
Yeah, you don't get that anymore.
No, you don't.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, you don't get that anymore.
It's hard to be creative when everything super creative has been created.
Well, just look at what we've already looked at. I mean, if you want to talk about creativity, let's go back. Okay.
Thunderbolts.
So Megan 2.0 we didn't talk about because I could care less about Megan. Thunderbolts is it's original, but it's not original, right?
It's original. It's drawn off of
other characters,
and on top of that, it's not like it's built off something. Oh, like this was so great, I'm excited.
It's not original concept.
Well, it's just like the storyline from before that's gonna continue. It's just like I don't care.
Yeah. Then you got How to Train Your Dragon. If it's a good movie, that's great, but it's not
original. Well, the live action. It's a remake of the original.
And then you got Lilo and Stitch, which is a remake, live action remake.
Yeah, it's all remakes.
And then Mission Impossible, which is like its 8th or 9th sequel. So I mean, Jurassic World Rebirth we talked about already, and we kind of like
it's sort of original. Not really.
Again, and then there's Novocaine, which this is about a guy who can't feel pain. Sorry, I saw that. It was called Kick-Ass.
Yeah, I don't know.
So again, a movie I'll probably review, but not
be excited for. And maybe it's good.
And then you get the Smurfs
remake or new story, not original universe. Well, sorry. Maybe original story, old universe.
You know who's going to be really excited for the Smurfs? Yeah, your mother.
Yeah,
she loves the Smurfs.
I can imagine.
Freaking loves the Smurfs.
I don't know why.
I hate the Smurfs.
She would play them.
You know
on TV like Boomerang.
Yeah. Do you know why I hate the Smurfs?
Why do you hate the
Lego Smurfs? Did I ever tell you this story?
Lego Smurfs.
Do you know that I have a scar right here across my chest on my left side? You can't see it anymore because it's so old. It's sort of like...
Yeah, I think you told me about that.
All right. So I used to love Legos as a little kid. I built Gargamel's castle. And it had this spire at the very top, very sharp. And I was trying to reach a light switch. I was climbing over it. It was on a desk. And I slipped and fell because I was just
that's just your fault.
And the spire went right in and just gouged me. I had to go to the emergency room. So like every time I think of the Smurfs, I think about getting stabbed by Gargamel's castle.
Hey, it is what it is.
So, and then F1, I didn't see the trailer. It's Brad Pitt's movie about F1 Formula One racing. I don't like F1 Formula racing.
Can't say that in Europe.
I know you can't say that here, but
I was in Europe. They are. I'm surprised. I mean, I knew they were obsessed with as you say in Italy, calcio or football.
Yeah.
And I like football.
Yeah.
Like American and European, or just original football, I should say, since I am also Mexican. I was surprised with how obsessed they are with F1. I mean, I knew the Italians love Ferrari, but I didn't realize how much they love Ferrari and those races. I mean, it gets serious almost.
I like Brad Pitt. I'm a fan of Brad Pitt. I think he does some great. Like he did his production company puts out some good stuff. Like they put out the Bob Marley movie last year around this time, but I thought it was a really good biography.
He does a good job.
Yeah,
he chooses his movies well. He does a great job executing them.
We'll probably go see it and review it. And
I think
hopefully
it'll
it
be
does well. I have nothing against it. I just, here's the thing. I'm not a car guy like some people. Like you meet people who are really into NASCAR, and they could build a car from scratch if they want. They know everything about cars and this and that.
I'm kind of jealous for those people because I think it's cool. I think it's really cool.
Great. I always thought to myself, one day I'll take a class on how to learn what pull apart an engine or something like that. But yeah, I don't have the knowledge, and I guess I'm ignorant when it comes to the sport. I tried doing NASCAR and I couldn't. I just kept falling asleep.
No, I remember.
Just kept falling asleep.
I love those times because I was a little kid, and so when you fell asleep, I just would grab the old Toshiba computer and start playing on it because he's not gonna tell me no.
Yeah,
he's asleep.
He fell asleep watching
cars.
I wasn't even drinking. That was the thing. I'm like, I'm gonna sit down and watch NASCAR and have a couple of beers. I'm gonna give.
I think you'll like F1 a little more because it's a different track every time, different course.
Yeah, I mean,
they're legendary courses. I'm not huge into F1. My Italian friends kind of introduced it to me, and I was like, okay, this is actually kind of interesting to watch. I'm enjoying this a little bit.
Yeah. Well, we'll give it a whirl. But those are the trailers. I mean,
only one excites me. Well, F1 is an exception. I mean, like one of those main ones. Did they post an F1 trailer during the Super Bowl?
No, they said it's online.
They said it's online. That's right.
Yeah. And then you got the Fantastic Four trailer last week as well, and that really wasn't. That didn't wave my flag at all.
Hey, my interest is not peaked, but it's intrigued.
I'm intrigued, but I'm like,
I'm kind of excited.
I don't know.
I love the aesthetic.
Yeah.
I got hope for that one. I got more hope.
Oh yeah, the aesthetic is whoever did the aesthetic on that.
The set design, that whole set. If it delivers, they deserve the Oscar.
Yeah, if it delivers.
The set, just the set people. I mean, maybe the film doesn't deliver, but those people who worked on the set and the design, they earned it.
Well, again, it was just a teaser trailer, so we'll have to see. But anyways, and then the last movie to talk about before we get into the politics of the day, we've got some Masters of the Universe news.
Why am I concerned?
Well, listen, it's Amazon, and you know how they like to screw things up.
Well, they did a great job with Fallout.
But
from what I didn't
Lord
really
of the
watch
Rings,
it.
they screwed that up. Anyways, it's already got controversy, this film, because it's got a lot of race swapping. Like Tila is a Latina.
Tila's the woman villain. If I remember,
that's Evil Lynn.
I'll think of Evil Lynn.
No. Tila is He-Man's not sister. It's Man-at-Arms' daughter.
Oh,
and Man-at-Arms is played by Idris Elba, who I think is a fabulous actor. And
not his role,
but he's Man-at-Arms. And I'm like, that's not what Man-at-Arms looks like. But there's a lot of controversy, and I'm willing to give Idris Elba the benefit of the doubt because he's so great at the role.
I love Idris Elba. Great actor.
To me, it looks like, okay, I get it when people get angry and upset over race swapping characters. I get that because they're doing the race swapping just for the race swapping and not because it's like a good fit or whatnot. I think Idris Elba,
he's a good fit.
I think he can make a great
Man
of Arms.
I think, as I say, you know what? Actually, for Man of Arms, Idris Elba, honestly, if you're gonna race swap him, perfect fit. I think he's the perfect guy.
Yeah.
I don't mind that. I don't mind that one. That one's fine.
Yeah.
The other one though, okay, now you're like, who's this? Who's playing her?
Some Latina. I forgot her name. Let me get her name here. Hold on. Let's see here. Camila Mendez is Tila. Now Tila's a redheaded white girl.
Right. Redheads. I mean, listen. Again, redheads losing every role they have.
Losing the redheads.
Mary Jane.
But again, benefit of the doubt. He-Man Master Universe is near and dear to my heart, so I'm really hoping this one comes out well. Now, here's some of the other before we get to the things they announced today. So we already know that Allison Brie will play Evil Lynn. That's perfect casting. Perfect casting. Here's where the perfect casting kind of goes to shit for me. Jared Leto as Skeletor.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just looking at Camila Mendes, and I was like, you don't really fit the image of
Tila. But then again, hey,
she might be a good actress.
Yeah.
She probably is a good actress.
Yeah. I saw.
She's probably talented.
Yeah.
But I just don't see, like, at the same time, there's talent, and there's also, like, you gotta at least look like Idris Elba. I can imagine him as Man at Arms.
Yeah, he's got that swagger.
He's got the swagger, but he's even got he's got the face for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's
sure.
got
The
acting gravitas.
He's got the gravitas. He can fit. I think he fits that role. I don't mind. You can race swap him fine. This one, I mean, does that make you think?
That does not make me think Tila.
My problem. Exactly. Who's playing Evil Lynn?
Evil Lynn, Allison Brie. She did a series on Netflix called Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, which is based off of a real wrestling company in the 80s.
Okay.
The women's wrestling, Glow, and did a fabulous job with it. And I think she's going to fit in well as Evil Lynn. Now, what they announced today was Johannesson, and I'm going to screw up that name because I am going to screw up. He's going to play Fisto, which is one of the later Masters of the Universe characters. He wasn't one of the first gen. And then you've got Marina Baccarin, and we all know her as Deadpool's girlfriend. And we also know her, she was, Commissioner Gordon's girlfriend and wife in the Gotham series, and she's a great actress.
Okay.
And she's going to play the Sorceress, which I can see that. I can see her playing the Sorceress.
You know what? Outside of the Camila Mendes pick and the Jared Leto, I'm afraid of Jared Leto.
That's what honestly, more than anything, that is what concerns me is the Jared Leto thing. Because they say, okay, here's an iconic role, villain, Joker,
again.
go. Ugh. Oh my god.
And you gotta stop giving him these roles. Have you seen his like kind of mini cult?
Yeah.
Jared Leto's.
Yeah.
I don't. Please, can we recast him? Is it too late?
Nope.
Who's playing He-Man? I haven't heard this.
Nicholas Galitzin, so he's gonna get buff for it. He'll be fine.
Okay, yeah, I can see it. Again, the buff part, it's gonna have to come.
So, but Marina Baccarin, I think, Sorceress,
that's fine.
Pull that off.
Again, Mendes is the only one I'm like iffy because I look at Mendes, I'm like, that doesn't really. I'm not asking for a redhead, but like again, I feel bad for all these redhead roles that just keep getting tossed away.
What's wrong with us redheads?
Yeah.
So Jared Leto, Skeletor. That's that again for me.
Those two concern me. Those two roles, Mendes and then Leto. Mendes might pull it off great. Leto actually concerns me more because of his history. I don't trust him. Yeah. I don't trust him with it. I'm afraid they're gonna make him look kind of weird with like, we're not gonna put a mask on him. We're gonna make him look like Leto.
Yeah.
But maybe like Leto's skull. I'm like, no. He better be full, regalia.
Wait. Think of what Jared Leto looks like.
Yeah, he doesn't fit it. He's skinny.
He's skinny. Skeletor is
imposing, buff.
Just
built. Yeah. Sure, a little cowardly, but built.
So,
we'll beat you up if your name is not He-Man.
I mean, they already have Trapjaw. They have Triclops.
Have they started filming?
Goatman. I don't think they started filming yet. But for me, if you're gonna do a Masters of the Universe, like you gotta go first. Yeah, where's my Merman? Where's my Beast Man? They better have Orko in this son of a bitch. If they don't have Orko, I'm gonna be upset. If they don't have,
I'm not confident.
I'm not confident. You just pulled up a picture of Leto.
And I looked up Leto with Skeletor, and I had those side by sides don't look good.
No. It's amazing. He wasn't great as a Joker. He wasn't great as.
Wasn't he in Dracula? Or was it
not Dracula? Movie? It was the vampire movie, the Marvel, the Sony Spider-Man, Morbius. It wasn't great in that.
Stop giving him these roles.
I mean, the fucker's got an Oscar.
For what?
I think it's the Dallas Buyers Club. He won Best Supporting Actor.
That doesn't mean to me.
Again,
I guess the Oscars. Are you gonna tell me that Oscar matters as much now?
No.
Emilia Perez. That's all I gotta say. We're not getting into that. But listen, the Oscars
this is going to be an Emilia Perez free late night with the
yes.
I'm not doing it again. You're not dragging me down.
Okay, back on Masters Universe and He-Man. I am still concerned because I think Amazon did this with the series. Was it Amazon or was it Netflix? That did
I think it was Netflix. It was Netflix and was it? I could be wrong.
It was Amazon or Netflix. So I've already had one bad series
Yeah,
on the
they
reboot.
basically just babied
He-Man.
everybody. It's like
They babied He-Man. The women were
the
now.
women were now.
I don't mind drawing woman in
No.
He-Man. That's normal.
But if you tell me you're gonna have a He-Man thing, you better have
yeah,
He-Man
He-Man better be like
front and center.
front center buff.
Yeah,
The man.
Yeah.
No faults. Maybe
Yeah.
some faults of like growing pains, but even then it's minimal. Like you better not make him. He's masculine. He's the man.
yeah. So
Like he's like Hulk Hogan if he was like
yeah. Oh, dude, I
imaginary.
got so excited. One Comic-Con, I was at San Diego Comic-Con, the Mattel thing, the Mattel floor shop and everything. They had a whole big
Oh,
section.
yeah.
It was the Castle Grayskull.
You
opening.
told me about
I get
this.
to walk through the opening of Castle Grayskull. It's like, oh, this
This is the greatest.
I was like walking through there in my head. I'm just going, I have the power. you know.
What Comic Con was that? San
That was
Diego
2009 San Diego. Yeah.
or was that New York?
San Diego.
You know, I love watching the older Comic Cons. And I'm sure they're good now still. And they're great. But I think that the older ones were better, like 2000, 2010s.
Oh yeah, well, COVID destroyed those things.
Yeah. They kind of started to come back now
A little bit, but there are a lot of movie places, a lot of studios that just don't actually participate
anymore. Yeah, I think that's sad.
And
I mean,
so-
E3's gone. You know what E3 was?
Yeah,
They killed it. That was like a child for us gamers. They shot him. They took him out back and yelled at it.
Oh man.
It was wrong, in my opinion.
Yeah. One day, yeah. Well, like I said.
I
anyways,
like it.
but back to Master Universe. So hopefully Amazon does the right thing.
Please deliver.
Please deliver. Please deliver. Because
You already made 2 questionable casting calls.
yeah.
The Mendez and the Leto. The Leto. I can't get over the Leto. I can take the Mendez. The Leto. Actually, I wouldn't be able to take the Mendez if it was just the Mendez.
Yeah.
But the fact that there's Leto is just like the Leto one is just I fix that one and then like I'll accept everything else for the most part. Edris Elba, I was fine with that from the beginning. If it's a Man at Arms.
So there's part of my childhood getting rewritten. Anyways,
Either rewritten or just like butchered. Take it to the butchers.
absolutely.
It's at the farm right now. They're gonna send it off.
Yep.
Ground beef. Here we come.
All right. Well, that's our entertainment portion. Let's get to some things. President Trump's been busy besides watching the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I figured.
Dude, friggin' some stuff is just absolutely hilarious. Let's start with some serious things. He signed an executive order a few days ago, and I missed this one, addressing the egregious actions of the Republic of South Africa.
We have a problem with South Africa?
We got a big problem with South Africa.
What is it
Apparently,
doing?
they have a big problem with us. A lot of the okay.
Sorry, I haven't been following world news for a minute here.
Okay. Purpose. In shocking disregard of the citizens' rights of the Republic of South Africa, recently enacted Expropriation Act 13 of 2024 to enable the government of South Africa to seize ethnic minority Afrikaners' agricultural property without compensation. Now, if you don't know, the minority in South Africa
Is white.
is white.
The Dutch.
Yeah, so they're
And
gonna,
kind of Brits, but mostly Dutch.
Yeah, but listen, if you want to look at this from a black white thing, I get that. For
Yeah,
me, I think
history-wise, it's bad.
seizing anybody's personal property without compensation, there's got to be some sort of.
It's a different time now.
Yeah.
Yes, some wrongs were committed, and those have hopefully by now been kind of more or less paid. You don't rewrite a wrong with another wrong. That's
So-
that's how you flare tensions.
Well, it goes on to say this act follows countless government policies designed to dismantle equal opportunity in employment, education, and business, and hateful rhetoric and government actions fueling disproportionate violence against racially disfavored landowners. I mean, it's almost like a revenge against the whites.
Yeah, it is revenge essentially.
Which it's not going to work well. In addition, South Africa has taken aggressive positions towards the United States and its allies, including Israel, not Hamas, of genocide in the International Court of Justice,
Yeah.
and reinvigorating its relations with Iran to develop commercial, military, and nuclear arrangements.
Okay, yeah, we have a problem with that mostly. Listen, the laws are morally wrong in my opinion to take away people's land and not compensate them. And I don't mean like, oh, you have to compensate them. Here's like $50, which is what it was worth back in who knows when they took it.
Yeah.
I mean, like fairly compensate for like modern day adjustments, but that the last thing you just said is the biggest problem.
Yeah, it's huge.
Fine, you don't have to support Israel. I understand that. You have the right. the second you start messing around with Iran, okay, we have problems.
Especially when you're in nuclear talks, because
Yeah, nuclear talks we don't tolerate. We will mobilize so much stuff in that ocean.
So A, the United States shall not provide aid or assistance to South Africa. And B, the United States shall promote the resettlement of Africana refugees escaping government-sponsored race-based discrimination, including racially discriminatory property confiscation. So we're going to be settling. I guess we'll be accepting them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you know what they'll do? They're gonna take all their money, bring it here. What are you gonna stop that?
Maybe, yeah.
We can force them.
But the thing is, hey, Trump's basically said, South Africa, you're
You're in the crosshairs.
You're crosshairs. You're in the axis of evil, baby. I mean,
You're already part of BRICS, which BRICS isn't like an evil thing necessarily.
yeah,
But it's already now you align yourself with Iran. Now you have a problem.
I mean,
What-
South Africa's just a mess right now. It's a mess politically. It's a mess economically, and
Culturally, was doing really good with kind of dealing with the apartheid. They had their system.
when Nelson Mandela died, the place fell apart.
Yeah.
He was holding that place together.
Yeah.
He was doing God's work there. I mean, and I really mean God's work.
Truly a hero. One of
Yeah.
the greatest people that ever lived.
Yeah.
And no question about that. But it looks like tensions are just flaring again.
So,
People can't get along with each other.
nope.
I know people point at the U.S. and say, "Oh, we have division here," and that's more political. Like you don't really have any racial division in the U.S. You certainly, yeah, sure, you can go find go to Zinc, Arkansas.
But here's the thing, though. Let's look at this like as Americans.
Yeah.
Most Americans, I'd say 99.9% of Americans aren't going to give a crap about South Africa.
No.
So whatever he decides to do, he'll do. I mean, unless he sends in the military, that's when we'll get the.
Listen, I will not be surprised if he sends in the military. You just mentioned nuclear and Iran in the same sentence. You have set yourself up for an American intervention.
Now there were rumors. I don't know if they're substantiated or not. That a while ago that South Africa was nuclear capable.
Think we're not gonna know about that?
Hey, you know what?
We would know about that before.
We got Google. Let's check it
Google.
out.
Google's not gonna have the answer. If we knew that answer, they're keeping it secret.
South Africa is the only country in Africa with a commercial nuclear power plant.
Yeah,
Two reactors located at the Coburg nuclear power station account for about 5%.
It's monitored.
Yeah,
They can't. They're not allowed to enrich uranium. Same thing with Japan. They have nuclear power plants in Japan. If they wanted to, in like a week, they could have a nuclear bomb. Japan. In South Africa, no, I don't think so.
South Africa ended its nuclear weapons program in '89.
Yeah, you know why?
All the bombs, 6 constructed and 1 under construction, were dismantled, and South Africa acceded to the Treaty of the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons. So they have the knowledge.
Yeah, the knowledge. Well, Soviets probably gave it to them, or we gave it to them. One of the two. Probably Soviets.
Probably Soviets.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's us. If it was us before.
I don't think it was.
I don't think it was us, but it wouldn't surprise me. Sure, they have the knowledge, but the problem is, their neighbors are not going to tolerate that. We would just fund them out. Yeah. No offense, excuse my language, out the ass.
Yeah, well, President Trump making friends all over the world. Good for him.
Yeah,
listen, honestly,
really creating a list.
Creating a list, but you know what? There's no ambiguity in that statement that he made. There's no, in this executive order, it's basically like, you're doing this, this, and that. We don't like this and that.
Stop it.
Stop it. And
we will
until you
leave
stop
you
it,
alone.
yeah, until you stop it, you ain't getting any of our money. You ain't getting any of our aid. So we'll see.
Also, I like how no one's actually made the distinct difference. Because if I'm like, Sammy, correct me if I'm wrong. U.S. aid is different from our foreign assistance, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. It's just like completely different. People think we've shut off aid completely around the world. We still have foreign assistance that goes to like essential things.
There's so much foreign assistance.
There's so much foreign assistance.
It's
crazy. Yeah.
It is unbelievable.
USAID, I'm a supporter of USAID as an organization. I don't, but some of the things they've been doing is like, you know what I mean? It's just like, what are they doing?
Well, if you want to look at the foreign assistance, never mind USAID. If you want, there's a report put out. I had to research a bunch of these when I was doing my master's in research in Central America.
I trust the foreign assistance more.
The foreign assistance, it goes through Congress, and they have to have a reporting what country. It doesn't tell you what the money's for necessarily all the time.
And national security.
But it will tell you what country gets what amounts, and it's crazy amounts. Crazy amounts.
We're doing some things down there.
And I was just researching Central and Latin America.
Hey, listen, coups.
Yeah,
Coups, buddy.
This is during the '80s. We were,
Yeah.
El Salvador,
Listen,
Guatemala,
listen.
Nicaragua, the Contras.
Yeah, that's all the Contras,
It's like,
Banana
okay.
Republics, buddy. We were, listen,
What are we doing?
we were busy.
We were
Okay.
extremely busy.
We were like, we want our bananas and we want them cheap. You are gonna make our bananas.
Do you ever hear of the College of Americas? You never heard of this. This is not a real college.
No, I heard of the
So,
same scheme.
the
I think it's
college-
the same thing you're thinking.
The College of Americas is basically the CIA.
Yeah. Okay.
And
I remember.
like military intelligence. And basically they couldn't quote unquote fight themselves, so they would get like the soldiers that they were supporting. They trained them in the College of Americas, and there was actually like a handbook. You can actually research this online and get the actual handbook on like assassinations and all sorts of crazy.
Look up this
All
college.
sorts of, I forgot what it was named. So
Look it up and see if it can. College of America's
I'll look it
handbook.
up. Let's see if
It's
it
showed on
comes up.
stream.
It's not gonna come
Images.
up.
Look at images. Maybe it's got a picture of this handbook.
No. It's
Ah, no, my favorite handbook.
really,
No. I just see pictures of Reagan. All right.
yeah.
You ever think like a president's like smiling as he signs those orders, or like, yeah, fund this coup attempt? Why not?
Man, he just
I'd be a great president, but I'd be one of those presidents who's like, okay, I'm signing something that's morally questionable. I'd have a fat grin on my face.
yeah.
I'd be like, this is cool.
So anyway, so they called it the college. Now, I don't think they actually officially. This is what it was basically known as.
or listed as like on the in
No,
Congress.
it wasn't listed in Congress. This is what it was. Just quote unquote College of Americas. This is like what it was.
It was like official.
Yeah, it was.
It was like they had like a recruiter show up
So-
to town. So like, you want to work for the College of Americas? Here's a gun.
but they would train these troops, these like regiments at a time, and then they would send them loose. And like 2 days later, they'd get reports that are like, "Hey, these people you just trained, I don't think you did a good job because they just went in and massacred an entire village of men, women, and children. There's mass graves.
so this is not a fun thing.
No, this is not a
This
fun
is a
thing.
very bad.
This
You
is-
had me excited
No,
almost.
this
It's
is a
like,
bad thing.
It's like, this sounds funny almost. It's like, oh, College of Americas teachers.
Oh,
It's like,
this is a
the-
bad thing.
you just gave people guns. They're like, okay, go overtake the government, and you didn't give them any guidelines. They're just like guidelines. They're like
There's-
pirates. They're like, the code is like guidelines. We don't need them. We don't use them. They're just
Yes,
there.
There was the most famous one was the raid on Atalica, which was in, I believe, Guatemala, if I'm remembering my thesis correctly. And so this one regiment of Guatemalan troops was fresh out of the College of Americas, trained by U.S. personnel and CIA and all that
Of
stuff.
course.
Right? And
The
they
best
would-
teachers.
And they would go into this village and they're like, okay, well, we're not sure if this village is pro us or anti us.
So you just burned it.
So they just friggin' slaughtered everybody. Like they brought in a helicopter. They were machine gunning down women and children who were running for the hills, trying to get to the jungle to save them. Dude, they found mass graves everywhere. There's all in El Salvador. It was even worse. It was a 10-year.
This sounds terrible,
Dude, there
Gringo.
was a 10-year investigation done by a UN Human Rights Council, and I read the whole freaking report. It was hundreds of pages long, dude. The human rights abuses that occurred because of this stuff, and because of the money that we were just throwing down there without any like telling Congress what it was for and what we were doing. Dude, it was crazy what happened down there. It was insane. So, anyways. So President Trump making friends in South Africa. We'll move away from the College of America. It's definitely an interesting thing. Now here at home, we're getting rid of the CFPB, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. I'm a little iffy on this because I don't know if this is exactly what we want to do.
Well, what does this bureau do, Gringo?
Well, they monitor the banks to make sure they don't have like junk fees, overdraft fees that are so crazy, or banks before this bureau. Some banks were just like, hey, we know you got money in our bank, but we don't think you're really a good customer. We think you're kind of risky, so we're just going to close your account.
I think you should probably keep that one open.
This came from Obama, right? Because of the housing crisis, mortgage lending. They
I don't trust the banks.
Yeah.
I mean, I
basically-
trust my bank, Frost.
Yeah.
Frost Bank, great. in Texas.
I don't trust any bank.
No, I like their bank.
Sure, because
their
they-
service is great. They actually take care of you.
But-
There are some small banks that do a good job and they're honest. You know what I mean? The big banks, I do not trust. I do not trust them for a minute. These people will rob you and steer you blind.
Yeah. So acting director Vaught tells the CFPB staff to halt work. Musk's Department of Doge gains access to the systems and halts oversight. What I mean halts oversight? He basically says to the CFPB, yeah, everything you're investigating with banks, every complaint from the consumers, yeah, you're going to stop investigating that.
I don't like that one.
I don't like that one at all. White House calls the CFPB weaponized bureaucracy.
That's not.
When Democrats rally against shutdown, saying consumers are at risk.
That one I agree.
I do agree with that.
I'm on the Democrat side for that one.
You know, and so
There's gotta be
there's
some
protests and whatnot.
There's got to be limitations to some of this.
They shuttered the whole headquarters in Washington, basically closed it, said everybody work from home and only do what we tell you to do, which is basically nothing. Employees should not come into the office. Please do not perform any work tasks while at home. Okay.
So paid leave.
Yeah.
Hey, vacation.
The CFP caught the crooks and made them give back so far $21 billion when investigating banks. Musk basically posted CFPB RIP on the social media platform. Again, I can't figure out exactly why this, of all places, is the place you want to go at. And I get it. They're sucking money out of the Federal Reserve. I get that. But this is a regulatory corporate. Like this is like one of those money's deregulating. Yeah, this is one where I'm like, I'm kind of. They keep, Trump's like, I'm going to cap credit card interest at 10%, so don't worry. Well, these are the guys that sort of like put pressure on the banks to cap interest as much as possible.
These are your friends, actually. Yeah, if anything, if you want to do that.
The White House said in a statement, the CFPB has long functioned as another woke, weaponized arm of the bureaucracy that leverages its powers against certain industries and individuals disfavored by so-called elites. So basically, he sees it. He thinks that it's been acting inappropriately or going after a certain segment or not everybody and evenly. He sees it as basically.
Well, if that's the case, if they're not going after everyone evenly, then I mean, obviously, if the other side isn't doing anything wrong, then there's nothing to go after them for.
Well, listen, you can have some regulations on the banks.
Oh, no, you need regulations.
You know what you're going to have? You know what happened when we didn't have regulations on the bank?
Yeah,
2008 recession. Yeah, Great Recession.
Yeah, you're going to have 2008, or you're going to have Great Depression. The banks are just kind of loaning out everything they could.
So I think this is one of those ones where I think you got to take a long. Now the CFPB was created through an act of Congress.
So you can't get rid of it.
He can't get rid of it. He can. I mean, I'm not even sure he can shut it. I think that a federal judge actually ordered all the workers back. He can't just put them all on leave. A judge already ordered all the U.S. aid workers back. He can't just put all of them on leave.
Well, he can mess around with U.S. aid and how it's used. Now, same thing with CFPB, but like he can't hinder them from doing their job.
Well, I mean, again, the CFPB was created as part of the 2010 Dodd-Frank financial reform law. That was the big giant bill,
right? Which
is like 1,000 pages long. That basically was a response to the 2008 recession. Now, granted, no one went to jail.
Which some people should have.
A lot of people should have gone to jail that worked in the stock market, that worked in
did
also.
Those people should have lost their money, and that should have been gone to the people who really needed it.
But instead, banks started getting all the money because they got all the bailouts. Regular people didn't
get the bailouts. You can save the banks, but you got to put people in jail and take their money away.
Fuck the banks. Honestly, what they
because if you get rid of all the banks, that goes to the entire financial sector.
Well, some banks are going to survive because they were smart. There was like Jamie Dimon did not want to take the money for Chase. He's like, we don't need it. We don't have this crap. We haven't been doing this. He was forced to take the money. I think also Citigroup was also forced to take the money.
Yeah. But the other banks were so big, it's like, okay, you have to kind of bail them out to save the rest of the people.
But you didn't get bailed out? The regular people losing their houses.
Those people should have been bailed. That's what I mean. What you should have done was arrest those people who were making money and had a ton of money, taking their money, and then gave those to the American people to relieve those debts. That's what you should have done.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's one thing, and this is from they talk about this in the movie The Big Short, but I also remember reading about this, the ninja loans, stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
no income, no job. Yeah, you want a mortgage? Sure, no problem. You got no income, no job? Sure, because they were selling the mortgages to banks and saying, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it's just because they were grouping it up and saying it's an A plus,
it's AAA rated, and all that. So it's just
no.
I'm a little.
This one I'm afraid of. This one I hope he's just making sure they do their job fairly and they're not like favoring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hopefully it's like, okay, they found something where it's like they're addressing corruption on this side but not this side kind of thing.
Well,
That'd be the concern. I find that fair. Fine.
that's part of the reason why I can understand if there was a lot of complaints that there was a lot of politicized bias in what was being investigated, who was getting attention, who was not. But
Fine.
here's where I see things. If the crime is a true crime, then go after it. I don't care who it is,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
If it's
It's black and white,
yeah,
especially
so,
with financial crimes. To me,
so I don't know. This one's going to go to this one.
that
this
was the
one
most concerning.
is most concerning, but it's also the one I think is just going to be the one where
That
again,
will ruffle
it
too
was-
many people's
yeah,
feathers,
it
even
was
like moderates.
created by Congress.
Well, all these agencies are created by Congress, essentially.
No, not all of them. No,
I say essentially, not all of them, but essentially most of them.
essentially all of them, right? But I mean, you can't just
Yeah, no.
this one. You just can't just get. Now, the one that's actually kind of makes me laugh. PBS to shutter Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Office following Donald Trump's executive order. So PBS is basically like, okay, well, the people who are in charge of the DEI office, well, they no longer work here. We're shuttering it, and yeah, but we're still going to marshal on. But PBS is, and then they're talking about NPR. So in the same article, they're talking about like not giving them any more public money, which I agree with. I think, sorry, PBS and NPR have leaned so far left that they're no longer doing what they need to do in the interest of the country. Like they only serve a certain segment.
Yeah, no, they've become biased.
Yeah.
They're supposed to say unbiased. I think PBS, a lot of their other programs, they do a good job with their stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's a shame they became biased. I think there's room for correction. I don't mind if you have unbiased voices here and there, but as long as it's evened out, you know what I mean? So you get like, oh, here you go. Sure, there's a panel with one person who's super liberal, but you got maybe super conservative on the other side to kind of balance it out and be like, okay, see, we live in a country where you can have different opinions and still sit and talk together. That's fine.
That's fine. But
I don't have a
here we
problem
go.
with
FCC Chairman Brendan Carr, who was appointed by Trump, announced last month that he was opening an investigation into PBS and NPR over program sponsorships. But he also made clear that he opposed federal funding of the outlets. So they're getting federal funds, but they're also getting money from sponsors.
Are you allowed? No.
I don't know. But again, it's like, you know, you pick and choose. One or the other.
Are you federal or are you going to
Yeah.
be? I mean, I think the federal government doesn't mind getting the extra money to kind of cover the bill for sponsors.
Yeah.
But as long as the sponsors aren't demanding you change your views.
So it is subsidized. So Congress is actively considering whether to stop requiring taxpayers to subsidize NPR and PBS programming. PBS announced in 2021 that it was requiring producers to provide their own DEI plans at all the proposal stage for all new agreements, series renewals, and direct to PBS programs. So
That's wrong.
that's gone now. So
I don't mind. Okay, certain DI things I don't think are bad. Or it's like, okay, you're trying to make sure qualified individuals of another race are not being overlooked because of their race.
Yeah.
But they have to be qualified.
sure.
Qualifications trump everything, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, let me ask you this: when was the last time you watched PBS?
You know, not since we were in the U.S.
I mean, I
Rick
watched
Steves Europe. That was on PBS for a while. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure.
I
enjoyed that.
watched a couple things here and there, but
Did they have Frontlines? No.
was it Frontline? No, they had
They did have Frontlines.
yeah, the Frontline, the documentary. Yes.
I love Frontlines.
Those are good
Those are
documentaries.
good. I like that. They did a
But
good
I
job
mean,
with
it's
that.
not like I don't know. Is this something that the public needs now with all the choice that they have out there, all the free stuff they have? If they get
on
internet?
YouTube. Well, the thing is, I think it's good to have one that's like, okay, here's one backed by the government, so you know, in case you're like, yeah, all right, there's too many things being said on one channel or another channel. The idea of PBS, I think, is the service that like, here's what we actually, maybe not actually what we know, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of that like voice where it's like, we're reporting the facts. Here are some speculations, but this is the facts we have. And this is from the federal government. Do with that what you may. If you don't like the federal government, you have these other options.
I say get rid of it.
I don't think so. I think it's important. I think it is important.
Trim the fat.
I think it's fine to have it.
Damn. Trim
I
the
think
fat.
I disagree with you on this one.
Okay, well you can. That's all
On
right.
this one,
That's
honestly,
okay.
I think the money is kind of getting crazy.
That's
You make so
okay.
much money off of them. But do they still have?
No, isn't that on HBO now?
Yeah,
So
You just say that last
They
time.
bought it, right? And so
they
but
still have.
did
They
it.
still own rights though to it.
I think they still own some rights to it and stuff like
like
that.
likeness and like merchandise and stuff. I think they make all the money. HBO just has the right to the show. to produce it.
Look, when I was a kid, and you had 3 channels, and one of them was PBS. Okay, I can understand, right?
Now you have
We had CBS, ABC.
Fox.
No, Fox didn't come along until I was a teenager, buddy. So it's
Wait,
CBS.
what decade are you talking
I'm talking the 80s.
about? Okay. I thought you were
Or
talking
late 70s, early 80s. So you had CBS, ABC, NBC, right?
Right.
And then you had PBS. And PBS is what I watched as a kid because you had Mr. Rogers, you had Sesame Street, you had the Electric Company, you had Schoolhouse Rock.
Right.
I mean, that's what you watched, right? Because that's what was available. It's either that or if you're at home in the afternoon, you're watching soap operas on the other channel, right? Till they started doing afternoon cartoons, and then Fox came along and things like that later on. But now it's just like no one's watching that stuff. People are watching, I don't know. I'm sure they're watching like Peppa Pig and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're making tons of money off that stuff too.
And I'm sure there's also there's also some families that don't. I mean, yeah, they can avoid YouTube. They can watch YouTube and stuff like that. But in terms of like cable television, they get like a reliable. It's a good choice to have available.
I'm just like
Don't want to leave a part of the population out.
I guess it's like this. I guess you justify to me your existence and justify to me why the program you're giving is fair, unbiased.
They can't answer that right now. The last question they can't answer. The first question I think they can answer really well. That second question they can't answer. Well, they can answer it, but it's not going to be truthful, or they're going to be truthful, but I guess we are biased.
So I think it's going to be a rough week this week for Trump. He's got a lot of lawsuits, a lot of cases coming to the courts.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. I think the Department of Education one is going to be interesting. I think this one, the CFPB, is that what is it?
CFPB, yes.
Yeah, that one I'm more iffy on for him. The other ones I don't mind as much. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. USA, okay, makes sense. You're not getting rid of it. You're just changing everything in there because you got to change it. Can't give money away like that. You're bleeding.
Well, here's where I think
He's
going to get a lot of pushback. Is with the next story, our last story is the Hamas delaying the hostage release, and they have actually. I gotta say they have a point because the ceasefire deal was broken. It wasn't broken by Israel, but kind of was endorsed. Okay, Trump basically said he doesn't want people going back into Gaza. He wants to put them in places other while they rebuild Gaza and take it over. Look, part of the ceasefire deal was allowing the free roaming of people who live in Gaza to go back to Gaza. And if that's going to be like, if it's on the table that Trump's out there saying, no, I don't want people going back to Gaza for whatever reason. Now, don't get me wrong. I think he's onto something. I think he's like, yes, you've got to rebuild this place. You can't just let these people wander back in. I get that. I get the whole logic. I get his logic.
Yeah, it's unsafe, rebel bodies everywhere.
Yeah, but unexploded
great.
ordnance and things like that. There's no water. There's no electricity. There's nothing.
Yeah, it's barren. It's just literally just desert.
I get it, but with him saying it so publicly, instead of trying to maybe do it behind closed doors, Hamas is using that as an excuse to say that the ceasefire deal is broken. We're not going to get back hostages. Now, I think Trump is going to say you got a week to figure this out, and otherwise things are going to get ugly. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what he said.
I'm pretty sure he did say that.
So,
and I'd be concerned because listen, you're already down. What, 4 leaders down the ladder already?
Yeah.
You are down soldiers. You don't have your funder there anymore because listen, Iran is trying to talk big, but they don't got cash. They're having internal problems. You're in a tough spot if you're Hamas. Yeah, you can kind of try to hold the ground there in terms of, I guess, morally being like, hey, this ceasefire deal is at risk of being broken. I mean, technically, it hasn't been broken.
But they're using it as an excuse.
They're using it as an excuse.
Because they see the U.S. and Israel, they see us as the same thing.
Right. I see that. I get that.
We're interchangeable for them.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I hope we can help rebuild it. You know?
I hope so too.
I hope that those people, those people have gone through enough.
I told you when
both sides.
But I told you when the ceasefire was announced, this is not going to hold.
Oh no! I mean, no. I mean, you both agreed on that very quickly.
Not going to hold at all.
We had hope, but it was like this is not a good sign.
And so I think this is and the thing is, the Ukraine war is still going on. Hopefully, that comes to an end.
Well, he's supposed to be talking to Putin sometime soon. Right now, that might be on hold with South Africa and Iran.
It might be, but it's just this is going to turn into a mess. This is going to turn into a mess. And they're going to use it against Trump, and they're going to make it like it's your fault. And the Democrats are going to say it's his fault. It's this, And again, the Democrats haven't really offered any solution to the problem.
No, they actually kind of helped that it become worse.
Yeah,
if
they made it
anything.
worse. Yeah, they made it worse. And so I think,
To be fair, Trump did get the initial ceasefire.
yeah. So
Let's
I
give him
think,
credit for that.
yeah.
Beyond that,
But beyond that, I think we lost our live feed.
we'll see.
Let's see. Did we lose our live feed?
Oh,